Just take two.
The glasses are still.
Yeah. Transitions.
Yeah.
Yep. Like a DJ. I do transitions. Corny joke. Corny joke. Well, my name is Nick.
My name is Kayla.
And we are the Currys.
We are.
Yes. We've been married for a year. Indeed. And it's been a wonderful journey. Not only just getting married, but being able to meet each other and blossom into this wonderful life that we have. Thank the Lord Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So yeah, we're doing a podcast. Podcast is called, drum roll please. Hey, we play a little bit. But no, for real, the podcast is called There's an I in Marriage. Mm-hmm. And we call this podcast The I in Marriage. There is an I in Marriage because we wrote a book. And we're going to be putting that book out pretty soon. As of this video.
Yeah, it's already written. It's already done. We got the cover. It's just a matter of publishing, and that we are definitely working on. But God, we prayed about this, and God put it on our hearts to start a podcast to get people to understand what we're talking about in this book a lot better. Sorry if the camera is moving. Our dog is in the way.
Yeah, Roxy.
She wants to play, but
sorry. We have other obligations today. But yeah, it was crazy fact that you said that you wanted to write a book.
Yeah.
I mean, I endorsed it right away. I've actually written a couple books, 3 books, prior to us getting together.
I didn't want to write the book, if I'm being honest, but I started my new job and I was in orientation, and what did I do? Oh, I was watching sermons or like other videos on like other like Christian podcasts and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the topic was about marriage. And I was like, okay, that's good. What's she talking about? That's good. And God, like, it was almost like a tap on the shoulder, like, hey, I want you to write a book. And I was like, a book? What about a journal? He said, book. I said, what about a journal? He said, book. I'm like, okay, I'll write a book. What about a book/journal? A book. Just write a book. And I'm like, okay. I kept fighting it. And then I was like, okay, well, what am I even going to call it? What am I going to call it? And it hit me like, there's an I in marriage. And I'm like, duh. I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing, God. So the book, that's how the book got its name.
Mm-hmm. And what does that mean? There's an I in marriage. I mean, I could tell you, but I wanted to ask her.
So the I in marriage is literally you. It's you in the marriage. It's everything that comes with you. It's everything that you grew up in. It's everything that has changed you. It's everything that has made you the person that you are today. That's the I. And when you join that I with another I, you have to be willing to accept what can be accepted or should be accepted according to, your values, your morals, your standards, which we believe should be based off the Bible. Mm-hmm. And I forgot where I was that quick. But basically, you're just joining with someone's I, and accept what needs to be accepted, and you two need to help each other change what needs to be changed, whether that is attitudes about certain things, beliefs about certain things, the way you view people, the way you view love, the way you view relationships, the way you view life, the way you view finances. Like, you have to know these things you have to know the other I before you try to join eyes, basically.
Mm-hmm. And you really got to know your own I.
You have to know your own I too. But we'll get more into that as we grow in this podcast, and we welcome everybody to grow with us and go on this journey. But we should talk about how we met.
Yeah, because that's essentially part of our I too.
Yes.
If you think about that. Yeah.
Go ahead and tell them how you slid in my DMs.
Well, long ago,
It wasn't
about
long ago.
3 years ago. Um, First of all, I was in a situation, not a situation, but like a part of a season in my life where I was dating, but not like dating anyone heavily. I was just talking to people. It was also during COVID or post COVID. However you want to view it, it was just that time where you get to see a lot of people, basically put. So you just kind of talking field in the field. And I got to a point where I was tired of doing all of that. I was also abstinent during the time of um, really COVID when COVID started, but it was intentional. I didn't. I really wanted to not engage myself with anyone, um, and I felt like that was God's calling on me to not do that. So I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone, and I actually was on Instagram and I was scrolling, and she popped up on my page on my feed, and I was like, she's pretty, and um, probably liked the picture and then scrolled past it, but then she had popped up again on my feed like a while later, and I was like, she is pretty. Let me look over her page and stuff. So I was looking at it and I was like, she seems like a good person. Got to be something about her. I don't know why I keep going back to her page. So I've looked at her page a few times, and then um, also this was the time I was DJing. If y'all don't know by now, um,
Those that don't know.
those that don't know, I'm a DJ. I go by DJ Nick Nasty, um, and so of course she knew about me. We went to the same college. I graduated before her. That's a shorter version of that. So yes, I knew her from school, followed her on social media, and back to this where I was actually promoting a party. It was a pool party, and somehow I slid in her DMs. She was promoting another party. It was like a little backyard function that she was hosting with her family. And I was like, oh, that's a cool function. And I responded to her in her DM. I was like, it'd be nice. Something to do. It was a 90s jam.
I think so.
I think it was a 90s jam. Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. Um, yeah. And then she responded.
You asked for my number.
Yeah, I was getting there. Yes. I asked for her number because I wanted her to come to the pool party. And she was saying that she would like to go. And then she was going to bring her friends. And I was like, okay. Well, when you do show up, just let me know because you would. I know we was doing something where it might be a lot of people at the door, and I just wanted to make sure that she got in, and so she
That was
asked.
nice.
Yeah, I was making sure she got in, but she didn't come because she had to work, and then it got too late, and the party had to ceased early.
It ceased early, and then my friends wanted to go somewhere else.
Afterwards.
And I was like, hey, sorry, friends want to go somewhere else, maybe another time. And that's when you sent that long voice message.
Well, yes, I had to DJ another party, but yes, I sent a long voice message. Um, we would like to edit that part into this video so y'all can hear it. I mean, yeah, but honestly, I was actually trying to see you today. Like, if I can be really honest about how I feel, I think you're attractive, really beautiful, um, and I want you. I don't normally say stuff like that. Like, I'm more conservative. Like, I really just want to get to know someone, be friends with them and establish that friendship first. And I still want to do that with you. But if I just want to be quite blunt with how I feel, like I really see you as somebody that I want to have, long term, in my life. I know it's really random to say when I really don't really know you. I've only seen you by your Instagram pictures and probably in passing. But like for real, I would love to take you on dates. I'd love to take you on a date next Friday if you're actually available. We can actually go somewhere for dinner. I got some ideas of like places we can go. that I'd love to take you to. But yeah, if you know, are interested, just let me know. Um, because I was actually forward.
You were very forward. It made me a little nervous. I mean, but then I was just like, okay. I was just like shocked. I was just like, why does he want to talk to me? And even on our first 2 dates, it was like, okay, let's. This just feels like fun. Like, I thought you were faking the funk. This whole like church boy and I'm abstinent and all this other stuff. I thought he was faking the funk, and I was just like, well, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see, and
Hmm.
here we are.
Look, can I give a little bit longer version of this?
Go ahead.
So I told her, of course, that I wanted to get to know her and stuff like that. Um, and we were actually communicating easily. Like we were texting basically every day. She was responding pretty fast most of the time. And so I was like, okay, I'm like, we got a good connection here going on. And then, yeah, um, she really didn't believe me.
Mm-hmm.
That really hurt a little bit.
When I told you that?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like it was some other things, but I don't. Do we want to spoil all of that?
Not
Like,
yet.
not yet. Okay.
I didn't know it hurt. I didn't know it hurt you that I didn't believe you. I told you this though. Like
I know, I know,
but
and
oh, you're just being honest in the moment.
yeah, I'm just being
Okay.
honest.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm like, oh well,
But I guess
I really wanted to be her friend, and I was really
and you
serious
were.
about it.
And you were.
And it took a while for her to open up too.
It did.
Because I was
It
asking
took me
some
a
serious
minute.
questions. I was asking her like where she wanted to live and what she wanted to do after college, and where did she want to live in a house, or like a lot of the serious questions that we should ask
That
on
we should
dates.
ask on dates. And even with dating like other people, like now I wasn't dating other people, but like going on dates with other people, it was like, what are we doing? Dating got very boring for me. For me, it got very boring for me because it was the same question over and over and
What's your
over
favorite
and
color?
over and over
What's your
again.
favorite movie?
Versus with him, it was like,
Where do you want to live?
it was more like intriguing. It stimulated my mind to go further, and I was just like, this
Oh,
is
you're a
boring.
nurse? Oh.
Yeah.
So you're
like,
gonna be making some money after college, huh?
That's not why, but
It's not, but I mean,
but
okay.
yeah, like you asked questions that intrigued my mind, and I was like, okay, I think I can do this. Um,
I think I can do this.
but over time, I think what it was that made me open up too, though, was watching you, and I put that in the book as well. Like the way you handled situations, and you would be like, oh, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. I'm okay. We'll be all right. It'll get handled. It'll get handled. And I'm just like, I would have been freaking out right now. I'd have been going crazy. But like,
Oh, I
then
went
you
through a
showed
whole
me
bunch of stuff.
you went through a lot in the time that we were just dating. And I was just like, geez. But you were so calm about it, so humble about it. And then I was just like, okay, there's something he's doing. There's something about him. So we started watching Transformation Church together. I think you invited me over. We watched it, and we cooked breakfast. We were sitting on the couch, not in the bedroom. He wouldn't even allow me in his bedroom. That was the first. He wasn't allowed in my house, but he wouldn't allow me in his bedroom, which I was like, okay, I respect that. I respect that boundary. I like that. So we sat on the couch, and we watched Transformation Church. And the more we watched it, I think we started watching it every Sunday. We was watching it, and I just realized like, oh, this is how he's getting. So he's getting all this information, and this is how he's able to act it out. This is how he's able to live this life. And then I gave my life to Christ on that couch. I did. Remember? Always at the end they do like a
yeah.
And I confessed. I went and bought a journal. I started journaling. I did a fast of social media.
Mm-hmm.
I did all types of stuff. I did it all.
You eventually got baptized too?
I got baptized on Easter.
You started tithing?
I started tithing. And ooh, we can go into that story too. Like,
Yeah.
it's so much we can go into from the time we met till now. Like, it's crazy because...
Oh yeah, I said I wanted to build a house. Not only just buy a house, but build a house.
Mm-hmm.
And when we finally moved in together, she took that very, very serious.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's make this clear, too.
Okay.
Like day one. We moved in together. And as he was abstinent, I started to claim abstinence as well because we were together. Like, we were dating, we were boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the world wants to call it, whatever. There's always this back and forth about, oh, you shouldn't live together if you're not married, XYZ. Now, for us, it worked out. I'm not going to sit here and say which one you should do. Evaluate your circumstances, evaluate your finances, evaluate each other, most importantly, and then go from there. But for
What's the
us,
motives?
yeah, and what are the motives? Our motive was, okay, we like each other. He keeps saying he gonna marry me, okay. He's showing that he's gonna marry me. He wasn't just saying it. He was showing the signs. Like, he was asking me about a ring. He was talking about marriage and talking about these things. We talked about colors. Like, we talked about a lot of stuff before the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So his
we basically
actions
had our
showed-
wedding planned out before we even had the ring.
Yeah. So we moved in together to save money, and then we decided to get a house. And lo and behold, we started meeting the people that we needed to meet to get the house. Now,
Within
that
a month
just
after
within a month after moving in together.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just wanted to make that clear that we don't stand on either side. We stand on what works for you and what you two prayed about. That's
Yes, the prayed about part. What did God say was okay? Not oh, let's pray to God and
just do what we want to do anyway. No, like pray about it, then go forward. But anyways,
we had
go
a
ahead.
plan.
We had a plan.
I mean, of course, God had to be in front of the plans, in the middle of the plans, and around the plans. But I think just knowing offhand, like, we are going to go build a house.
Right.
And then I think a lot of people, and we don't need to necessarily get deep into what we're going to talk about in the future, but a lot of people don't have a plan, especially when it comes to men. And that's why a lot of relationships end up in lingo for a long time. Limbo.
I knew what you meant, but
Yeah,
I'm glad you... Yeah.
Limbo for a long time because they don't act on the plan. I am a strong believer that dating should not take too long before you move into the engagement phase.
A man knows what he wants, and he's going to do what he needs to do to get it. If a man loves his car, he's going to take care of his car. He's going to do what he needs to do to make sure it's up and running, right?
Also,
a man knows what he wants.
Also, a boy needs to become a man. And the longer he prolongs that process, even if he wants to date people or what have you, it is going to add time to that limbo.
And we can get into that on another topic too.
Of course.
And we'll get into another where women, you can't raise him. You cannot raise that boy to be a man because if he I'm not even about to. I'm not even about to go into
talking
that.
about
Anyways, we moved in together, and we started planning to build a house. Like, we were looking for a house because they were like, "Oh, you need to try to find something lower in XYZ."
Based off of
I was like, I said, bump that. I'm about to keep looking because I want to build one. Found one. Arbor Homes. Shout out to them. And
great.
They built our house within 6 months, 7 months, 8 months?
We had to buy the land in June or July, which we did. We can go over the whole process in another video.
So many things we learned.
They broke ground in the fall. Was it October-ish, September, October?
Yep.
And then it was ready by February. this house that we're sitting in right now. Yeah, was ready by February. We had the money for the closing costs. We were saving up for it, but we didn't have it day one. We saved up for it and had all the money for the closing costs. We had money for furniture. Thank the Lord Jesus. We were buying furniture within the middle of the process. We bought our...
Pay for the wedding.
Yeah, we paid for a wedding and our honeymoon.
And the honeymoon.
And...
Y'all, we don't know where this money came from.
Yeah. And ended up buying 2 cars, too.
And I say that humbly because, like, they say... Like, we definitely budgeted. We definitely had a plan, but it's His grace.
Left and right.
It was the grace because we don't know where it came from.
Between...
I was working part-time.
I worked part-time until I had to work full-time. And that...
You still had DJ gigs in the middle. I guess at the end of the day, it was His grace.
Oh, I paid for God's a ring. Grace. Cash.
Paid drawers off. Yep. It was God's grace that got us... Wow. Okay. Thank you, Holy Spirit.
We have these moments, y'all. We have these moments.
When I say grace, it's... There's no order to this, by the way. Like, we just... Okay, but... When I say grace, like, yes, do the planning, do the work, do what you need to do to make things work. Like I said, if you two are going to move in together, like, make sure it works and make sure you prayed about it. Keep God in the middle. But it's grace. Like, people like to say what you should and shouldn't do according to the Bible. Yes, that's true. But remember, He has grace. And remember, don't abuse His grace. Had we abused that money, all the money that we got to do all these things,
we were very intentional.
It would have been grace, but it would have been a struggle bus. It would have been a struggle bus. But because we sat down, we planned it out, we thought it through, and was just like, okay, no, like, we probably shouldn't be doing this, or we probably should invest in this, or we probably shouldn't buy this, or we probably should wait. So stuff like that we talked about, we thought it through. So His grace gave us so much more room to buy the couch and pay it off, to buy the curtains and pay all this stuff off. And then even gifts, and we thank you, friends and family, who bought us gifts to furnish the home, especially is that like your dad, like amazing. So it's like His grace is sufficient. When he says that, like it.
I would even add this: we do a lot of things in integrity.
Oh, for sure.
Because when people have blessed us with things, they know that we take it what they do very seriously, and we're very intentional too. Like, we don't buy things because we love to buy things. We buy things because we see the functionality in it. Do we need it? Is it really going to be a benefit for us? And because those go hand in hand, that's how God. That's what stewardship is basically about. When you're intentional, and when you have integrity, those going hand in hand allows God to move things in your life, and we'll talk way more about that too.
We got like 15 topics, but
15. I think we got way more than that.
It's three parts, but anyways.
Thankful that God has moved us in such a way to be able to see life. And we've been on trips. We've had a great honeymoon in Puerto Rico. Paid for before we even stepped on the beach type.
It was fun.
It was very really fun trip.
Definitely got to go back. We going back. If you ain't never been nowhere, 2 places I recommend going: Las Vegas and Puerto Rico. I don't care. You keep talking about Miami. I don't care. Puerto Rico and Las Vegas.
She don't care. She gonna change her mind when she go to Miami.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's
we
gonna
just
be a
gotta
good time.
see. But anyways, what were you about to say? Sorry.
No, we are for people living a blessed life, living a good life. We're not trying to. We don't brag at all. I mean, it may sound like it, but we don't. We are very humble. But we know that God has moved in a way, and sometimes you don't even see it from day one. And this is something that we would definitely love to leave people with, is that taking the journey towards marriage, number one, will definitely require God. but it also requires you to accept that it's a journey.
It's a journey.
And it's
a
not
long journey.
You're not gonna wake up with a ring on your finger. You're not gonna wake up and everything is gonna be happy. And even after you get married, there's still a lot of communication. There's a lot of work to be done. There's a work to be done around the house or your apartment or wherever you live. There's going to be times where things are up and things are down. There's gonna be boundaries you're gonna need to be set. There's a lot of things, and if you don't want to be intentional about that, then marriage is not gonna be for you. Marriage
Until
takes
you are ready.
Yes, marriage takes intentional time,
Intentionality.
intentional allowing yourself to be patient with a lot of things. You have to intentionally be patient and not be like, okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath and then I'm gonna get mad again. No,
It's definitely been times I had to be like, you know what I used to do?
what you used to do?
I would be sad or mad and play some songs to make me even more sad or even more mad.
Ooh,
That's
I don't do
awful.
that.
I don't do that no more. I play gospel music, or I turn everything off, and I'd be like, God, I'm mad.
He
I really say
she
that.
goes straight up to the big man.
God,
and say,
I'm mad. I do, or like, God, I'm upset. I am. Oh, here she go. Roxy, you gotta move. Sorry, baby girl. But she don't care. She has no. This is who we need to be teaching boundaries to. But anyways, I used to play songs to make me more sad, but like, no, I'm not. I don't do that anymore. But yeah, that's crazy. Oh Lord Jesus, Roxy, you gotta move, sis. You gotta move. You gotta move. Well, go ahead and finish talking.
What were we even talking about?
You're talking about marriage and being intentional.
No,
right?
yes. So you do have to be intentional, and you have to be okay with the work. I remember all the times prior to getting married or even going the process of dating with Kayla. It's like you kind of do things for fun. Sometimes you bump into people and you just have, the little flirty conversations and stuff like that. And it is fun. Is it fun? That's up to you to decide. Like, is it really worth all that flirting? Is it really worth all of that time spending trying to get to know each other, but you don't know where it's going? Like, I got to a point where it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be intentional. I want to.
You're very intentional.
Be someone's friend, and friendship is very, very, very underrated. I know men are scared of being in the friend zone.
You didn't kiss me at least for 4 or 5 months.
I didn't. I know. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I'm kidding.
Don't be sorry.
I'm not sorry.
But like, I thought it was odd, but in reality,
I just
no.
try to be funny. I know.
Oh. But in reality, like, that was like a we don't have to kiss to be friends, or we don't have to kiss to let each other know, like, oh, I like you.
I think, especially when you're a young man, you're scared about being friend zone. That there's a lot of pressure of being able to woo a woman and woo her very fast and get her before other dudes get her, or there's a lot of pressure of trying to be something special that doesn't actually require all that energy. And this is kind of like me saying this right now in the moment because I never thought about it, but like, as a man, there was a lot of pressure.
You felt pressure when we were dating?
No, because I changed my approach with you. I did say I want to be your friend, but I did want to get to know you on a romantic level. A lot of men aren't confident enough to say that, and I was a little nervous. She might say no, but I knew that my intentions was I really want to be your friend. I want to know the darkest things about you, the things that you've gone through, in your life and family, and I want to know who your family members are. I want to actually get to know people and be respectful. I want to be respectful of your time. When I say I want to go on a date, it's because I really want to go, and I'm going to be there at the time that I said I would be there.
It was, y'all. Every time.
If I said I was going to pay for a date, I did pay for a date.
Every time. And tipped.
And tipped.
And I got a drink. I remember when I went, oh my goodness. I remember when I went on a date, and the guy did not, he looked at the menu and went wide-eyed. And I was like, oh. So I got water. But then I started remembering, I'm like, whenever I, like, this is before we were serious.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably, like, the first day. I was like, when I went out with Nick, like, I got a drink, and it was no issue. Like, now, it's not about money at all, but it was, like, I just knew the difference. It was just, it felt right going out with you. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go out with him. I'm going to keep going out with him.
Yeah, I was
But
consistent, too. So.
You were very consistent. Oh, my goodness, you were too consistent. But like in my head it was too consistent, but in reality there's no such thing. There's no such thing.
And I know there's some women probably snapping right now, talking about yes, that's what we want, yes. But you also got to know what level the man is in. You know, nothing against people who are young and just don't have it right now. I salute you for the journey that you're taking to get yourself to the level that you want to be in.
The honesty you're having with yourself too.
Be honest, and first and foremost, just be honest with the woman. If you don't have it, if she's gonna love you if you are honest. She might not be around, but if she really wants to, like I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm not gonna say
the dates we went on weren't.
They weren't Ruth Chris or nothing, but I mean I guess I'm saying like if don't date someone and you can't be honest with them. And if they're gonna say, oh well, McDonald's I'm too good for McDonald's. I mean
that just ain't the one for you.
That's not the one for you.
And
Where you are right now.
And that's okay.
But you also have to present her with, I do want to have XYZ job. I do want to live in XYZ house.
But she has to give him that chance. If she shoots him down, like I didn't shoot you down. I didn't shoot you down. Like it just takes that open mind. But like we didn't went on a tangent. Are we supposed to be talking about how we met?
Well, we kind of are. We are because okay, for example, they don't know this. I'm 31 right now.
You are.
Yeah. I'll probably be 32. We'll see.
You say probably. Don't say that.
Not in a bad way. It just depends on when, all of this comes out. But regardless, no, I'm 6 years older than you. Yes. And then also when I did meet her, I was working a salary job. And so I was very comfortable with paying for meals and
still are.
Yeah, most
because you say it was.
I'm saying but then okay. For example, you met me on the tail end of me working at Geico because then
you ended up leaving.
I left a couple weeks or a couple months later, and so that was going till part-time. But I still found ways to make sure that we went on date nights and I paid for everything.
You did. Again, you were very intentional. You are still very intentional. Like, and that's what I admire about you. Like, you do pay attention when it's important. You pay attention when it's important. I'm not saying you don't pay attention when it's not, but like you are very attentive when it's like important.
And I think a lot of things are important, and that goes again with intentionality. Because some people think it's not. It don't have to be all of that. Why it got to be all of that? But it does.
Guess who else is intentional?
God. That man spoke for everything to come to pass. Like if we talk about Genesis, and it sounds so simple because when he says, "Let there be light," there was light. We make it sound so simple, Do you know how many stars are in the galaxies out there? Do we even know how many planets are out there? Do we even know how many molecules are out there in the universes?
That's a lot. And you just nerded out.
Molecules.
You just nerded out too.
I did.
But you're right.
Molecule. That's
God
how
is very intentional.
intentional. And if,
Like to the very detail. He knows the number of hairs on your head. I don't even know how many locks I have.
let alone
He
hairs.
know.
Let alone we talking about locks, hairs.
Hairs. Like hairs. So it's
And
intentionality is important. Consistency is important. And we say all of this in the book too. Like all of that is important. And if you aren't willing to change any of that, and the good thing is, and I'm so thankful, like I'm so thankful of the story that we have, because just simply being next to you helped me with my unbelief. Like I didn't even pray about none of that. It was like I didn't pray to meet him. I didn't pray for a man. I didn't pray for none of that. It was just like, okay, whatever. Like whatever happens, happens. But being in close proximity with somebody who honors God, who puts him first, who actually walks out the things that he's learning in life, it's like, if he could do it, I could do it. I've always been that kind of learner though. Like if they could do it, I could do it. And it's not.
You are that.
It's not like a competition or a Vegeta and Goku type of thing. It's not that at all. But
yeah,
like
she knows Dragon Ball Z, y'all.
It's not like that at all. But it's like I am. If you can make it simple, it can be done. And I like to make things simple for people. So when somebody makes things simple for me, thank you, Holy Spirit. That's wild. You made things so much simpler for me that I was just like, that makes sense. It makes sense. Like all of that makes sense. But then when you try to tell it to somebody else whose eyes haven't been open, which is okay, because God has a plan for everybody and a time for everybody. When you try to get somebody who hasn't either believed, or they just haven't, they're still in darkness, or they just don't know. They just, it sounds so hard.
It does.
You tell somebody to go, I don't know.
I mean, even me when I was a little bit more about me. I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Shout out Fort Wayne, 260. Yeah. I went to a lot of churches growing up, and I think a lot of, not just me, but a lot of people, especially the black community, I'll speak for us, we have a hard time seeing how God actually moves. And so the time that I spent during COVID, and even prior to, I started watching Transformation Church. When I was watching Transformation Church, they had a series on tithing. And I knew about tithing before, but it was one of those, if we got it, we'll tithe, or if we got it, we'll do an offering.
A lot of people think like that.
And even during college, I didn't go to church, wasn't very familiar with churches, didn't really trust churches, and then I also like living my own life, if I'm being honest. But when I started watching Transformation Church, and then they had that specific sermon, they talked about why people should tithe. And I encourage you to watch it yourself. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing and try to even
you had me
convince
watch
you.
it.
Yeah, but I did.
You did have me watch it.
So,
and that's when I was like, yep, I got to do this.
Once I realized that tithing was important, that really changed the whole trajectory of my life. Because there's not one paycheck I don't pay 10% to God. Not anytime I DJ, I'm still paying 10% to God. Anytime I do graphic design, yes, I do graphic design too. Any type of income I get, basically, God's getting 10%, and I've been consistent with that.
That's beautiful.
But then, yes, very beautiful.
But that's how simple it is.
That's how simple it is. They were able to break it down to a point where it was like, oh, if I don't do this, I don't, and it's not a genie situation with God.
No.
It's not. But if I give my 10% and I make God the first of my life, the first person I go to for everything, if I do that, and God will show up, and he has not failed. Us having all of this, the book, the recordings, all of this is not possible without God. So I leave you with that to go do some research
For tithing.
for tithing.
Because I didn't even know what that was. Being honest, I didn't know what that was when we first started dating, and then he started explaining it to me, and I kind of just brushed it off. But then you had me watch the series with you one day, and that's when I was like, I have to. And then, should I tell the story about double?
Not yet.
Not yet? Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, not yet.
Because tithing 10% is just the beginning.
We need to have a more. They need to get to know us more. Actually,
that's true. That's just the beginning.
Yeah, and we're on that journey. She's headlining the journey. But we're on that journey.
But you've made things very simple for me to follow. Wow, because you submitted yourself to God in totality, I've been able to submit to you and your ideas. So like when you tell me, I'm thinking about leaving this job, I'll be like, okay. Like, some people would be like, no, how are we going to pay the bills? How are we going to do this? X, Y, Z, how are we going to...
Or quit right now with no plan.
With no plan. You tell me I'm ready to go, I'm like, okay.
She knows
we'll talk about it when we get home, or we'll there's no worry, there's no stress, and
the amount of peace we have, the amount of peace we
very
have.
Quiet in here.
Yeah. Y'all hear that?
Yeah. And again, it's humbly speaking, like when you got God first, it helps so much. Now I'm not saying that we aren't human. We don't make mistakes, or we don't be thinking, like, again, you have to cast those thoughts down. It's really keeping God involved that helps everything. So yeah, babe, you made things very simple for me, and I really appreciate that. But how we met was simple. Like how everything just flowed was simple. How we constantly kept in communication, and whenever we looked at something, we'd be like, yep. No, like it was very like, yeah, we'll take that. No, we don't want that. Yeah,
Yep,
we'll
we like
take
Mexican. Yep, I like pizza. Yep, I like. Of course, you should.
Those things, yes.
We'll talk about it more, but of course, you should be with someone where you have a lot of commonality, so your life is more simplified. Especially when it comes to eating. I think a lot of people skip over that. And we have a lot more tips on dating too that we'll talk about, because even though we make dating hard. We as humans make dating
hard. We do.
Because we want so much and we don't bend for enough. And also we say we want so much, but we're not intentional. And that's the scary part.
Get it?
I wouldn't even say intentionally get it. I think we get what we want, but we don't get what we need.
And when we get what we want, we don't know how to keep it.
Well, I think getting what we want, if it's predetermined like that, it's not good for you, then there's no way to keep it. But when you actually see what you need, you'll be more suitable for each other, and therefore it's not.
That's Roxy again.
It's not hard to stay together. When it's all within that intentionality. It's all with understanding your needs, not your wants, not always your wants, but your needs, to get things that you need in life. Like, yes, we wanted to build a house, but it's nice to have a new house that we don't have to do any upkeep right away. We don't have to.
Hang on. My bad.
There's just things that we realize that because we know what is worth our peace, we see it as a need, and rather than trying to fix things up. I think as humans also we try to fix things up a lot. Okay.
Had to put her away. She was doing a lot. Kicking the camera and everything.
It's like having a kid.
It is. My bad. But
This is our life.
it is.
We have a dog. We want children eventually.
Eventually.
Don't ask. Don't pressure us. It's on God's time, number one, and then
I want to go to Africa first.
we do want to travel. We actually want to travel. We want to be financially stable, and we don't want too much on our plate. I think
Not at one. Not like this. Not like this. Like, and God knows what we need, and He knows what drives us, and He knows what makes us stagnant. So, I don't know what having kids right now would do. I don't know if it would drive us, or I don't know if it would make us stagnant.
or
But God knows.
would it rip out our hair?
You know, so God knows, and He knows the timing for it. So it's just a matter of time. And I've prayed times like, bless my womb when it's ready, when you're ready. But no, we don't have any kids. We've been married a year. What else? We talked about how we met, how we dated, or what worked for us in our living situation, where we are. Well, we don't really talk about where we are now.
Where we are now.
Where are you now?
Currently an insurance agent at Ray Skillman. Of course, a DJ. We are our authors. We are financially blessed. We're not saying that in the sense of like we got a whole bunch of money. No, we don't.
Bills are paid. That's what he meant.
The bills is paid.
Our
And
bills
it's
is
just
paid is what he
enough
meant.
for them bills. And as a law-abiding American, I want to keep it that way. I don't want to stress having less than what I need. Okay?
That's true. Where am I? Again, this is the I. Where am I right now? Can't really tell you where I work. I don't think I can disclose that, but
She's a nurse.
I'm a nurse. Yeah. I love my job. I do love my job. When people always ask me, "You loving it here?" Yes, I love it here. Stop asking. I love it. I love it here.
She crazy.
So, but it's way better than where I came from. So
Way better.
right now, I'm very, very, very happy with where I'm at. The people are good. Management cares about me. So in that area, I'm good. And God keeps blessing us, and He keeps blessing us financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, like everything.
The budget is budgeting well. Let's say that.
Right. And we'll talk about finances in another video. And then, yeah. Mentally, I am going to therapy. I started therapy last year, like the end of last year. And that's made it's helped me in so many ways. It's crazy.
She's not crazy.
I'm not crazy. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. I believe that I had a lot of the reason I went to therapy.
She thinks a lot. She has a lot of questions.
I have a lot of questions.
And sometimes I can't answer them,
He
especially
can't
as
answer
a man.
them, and his brain can only take in so much. His ears can only take in so much. And it says it in Ecclesiastes. I read that today. 1:8, Ecclesiastes 1:8. Around it's a daily devotional, but it was like it was talking about how our ears and eyes can only take in so much. You know what I mean? Like, just go and read the scripture, and God will give you what you need. But what I got was our ears from birth take in so much. he can't take in that much. So I had to find somebody else, and it's not that it wasn't neglect. You didn't make me feel unwelcome, but I knew
She's not getting beat on or touched
no,
on.
no.
She's not
oh my
getting
goodness. Somebody asked, "You and Nick okay?"
She's not
Yes,
being
we're
verbally
okay.
abused.
No,
She's
none of that.
not- no.
I just had a lot of
And
questions.
I'm not making her
that-
say anything. There's not a gun in my hand.
No,
there's not
y'all.
a knife right here.
He's.
I love
But
this
you
woman.
know what? The fact that we had to clarify that just shows how much people know about therapy. I think people know more now.
Shout out to mental health people out there.
I
doing
think
their
people
jobs.
know more now, but I think before, like when I like exposed that I was going to, and I say exposed like in a way like I told people like I've been going
She
to
wanted
therapy.
to tell people
And I
like this is
wanted
a
to.
journey that I'm going through. I want to share
People
with
thought
people.
something was wrong with me. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. I just have a lot of questions. And what I learned through therapy, and I thought something was wrong with me for a second because I had so many questions and my brain is always running. My brain is all on a constant treadmill for real. So when I had all these questions, I thought something was wrong with me. But no, what I learned is when you get saved, you get baptized, and you start getting closer to God, you start reading His Word, your brain starts to reprogram itself.
That part.
You start to unbelieve lies. You start to take in the truth. Your brain and your spirit are trying to connect. Your heart and your mind are trying to connect. And because you're trying to make things make sense, God is trying to, I don't want to say cleanse you, but like He's trying to reprogram you in order to reprogram you, He's going to have to reset some things. And to reset some things, you got to go back to some things. So there's a lot of memories that were unraveling in my head, or like I was getting triggered a lot because now I see the problem. At first I didn't see the problem. I see the problems now, so I'm sitting here like, that ain't right. That's making me mad. Why am I getting mad? Or that ain't right. That's making me emotional. Why am I so emotional? That ain't right. It's making me cry. Why is it making me cry? Or why is it making me think that Nick will do it to me? Why is it making me think that my friend will do it to me? Or why do I think that this stranger is going to do this? It's making me remember things that I suppressed before, is what my therapist told me. Because I've suppressed so much, or so much has happened, it's like, okay, I have to unlearn this stuff. I have to make sure that I don't repeat these patterns. So the reason I was so emotional, the reason I was breaking out, stressed out, backaches, headaches, I needed to go to therapy because God was renewing me all from head to toe. And He still is renewing me. And I always have to remind myself and give myself that grace. I had trouble giving myself grace too. But where I'm at now is so different. Like, I was working on my self-esteem with my therapist. I had to work on giving myself more credit. I would pray for wisdom and then find myself in situations where I had to actually implement that wisdom and then keep asking. And then, we got to go into that too in another video about like...
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to say it now. You can have gluttony with God's word. I'll get into that later. Anyways, I had to give myself that grace. Like, God is going to finish this work in me, and it's not going to be right now. It's just going to be where I am, where I need to be, basically. I am where God needs me to be, and I have to accept that and just keep going with it. Take today, because the present is literally a present. It's a gift. Be present. So that's what I'm working on, and that's where I am. I know I just went on a tangent, but like, it's been a lot for me. I had to like really unlearn a lot of stuff. I had to really sit back and just deal with myself. Like, I turn off the TV sometimes and just be like, okay, Caleb.
This is all within a year. Like, I want people to kind of think back what has happened within the last year, and not think about all the fun times. I know that's cool and stuff. But let's think about where you have been within the past year. All your ups, all your downs, all the progressions you made at work, all the things that you've been through with your family, all the things that you're trying to learn, or like a skill you're trying to develop. Like, there's a lot that has happened within a year. She says she's been in therapy since like the end of last year. So as you're hearing her like say all the things that she's processing, it takes days to heal. And when I say days, I mean days upon months upon maybe even a year just to heal. And also, I want to encourage people, and I'm not saying like jump into a relationship and a marriage right now, but for those who are probably watching this and is like, oh wow, I got a lot to think about either before I get married or even I'm married right now, and that just sparked something in me. We encourage you. We hope that you do get some healing, and I hope that your partner appreciates the fact that you're looking to make changes within yourself. Essentially, that's what this book is about. It's talking about accepting that change.
Inevitability of change.
I will say that if I didn't change, I wouldn't be here.
If I didn't change, I wouldn't be here.
And we got some past, y'all. We thought about making movies about it.
What if it was a movie?
I mean, if somebody wants to listen and then
Be like, yes.
let's put some money
It's
back.
gonna take a while for somebody to actually be like, oh,
Hey,
that's a good story.
Hey, we're saying it within with hope, not high hopes, but we know that if God wants it to be done, it'll be done.
For sure.
So
But
if you're listening, investors, no, like seriously, when we talk about our eyes, some people come with a lot. Actually, everybody comes with a lot.
everybody come with a past.
Everybody come with something.
They come-
Thank you for watching the video. We had some technical difficulties. We're getting used to our equipment, so we appreciate you watching this whole time. Anything you want to say, baby?
Yes. Again, like he said, we thank you for watching all of our videos or watching this far. We really, really appreciate it, and we pray that you've gained so much from it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell everybody about There's an Eye in Marriage.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Have a blessed day.